Hey, hello everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. Okay, so it's time. It's 9 o'clock already. Okay, can you guys hear me? I think so. Okay, if I think I'm too soft already. Okay, I'm going to make it louder. Okay, so today we have a special guest with us. As I do lots of this live streaming, I hope that we are able to provide values for businesses. Yeah, especially small businesses who have a limited resource. Okay, so we pull all the resources together and then we are able to help as many people as possible. Okay, so if you are here today, I hope that you will gain something out of this session. Okay, and we'll share as much value as possible. Okay, to you so that you can benefit in your business itself. Okay, so without further ado, okay, I want to bring in Roy here together with me today. Okay, and he will, so let's welcome Roy today. Wait, yeah,
Hi.
hi,
Hi,
Roy.
David. How are you?
Yep. So, Roy, okay, I've known him for a while already. I don't know how many, 20 years, maybe.
Maybe 20 years.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe
maybe
20
20 years.
years.
Yes. Yeah, and he's really into this business for how long? I think also 20 to 30 years, right? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
around
So
20 years.
today, we want to share with you about workplace safety, and specifically safety in terms of workplace safety in terms of avoiding COVID-19 when you work. Yeah. So just to give you an introduction about Roy, Roy actually has been working in Australia and Singapore, right? So how long have you been working in Australia and Singapore? Maybe you can share a bit of this. Yeah.
Yeah, I started in Singapore
Mm-hmm.
in 2000, year 2000. And then
Okay.
I started the Australian company, I think, if I'm not wrong, like 7 years ago, six,
Mm.
7 years ago in Australia.
Right.
And then I lived there. And right now I'm at the moment traveling both Australia and Singapore office.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But now you're in Singapore, I guess.
And over yes, I make a choice because of the quarantine requirements. So I make a
Correct.
choice.
Correct.
So maybe I settle down back in Singapore office first. Then when the
Okay.
things settle down, then I will travel back to Australia.
Right. So really thank you for taking up your time today to share with us this very important topic, because all of us we are going back to work, and wow, I think there's a lot of concern whether it's safe or not, or whether it is whether the virus is there and the things like that. Yeah. So a lot of staff or workers will be concerned. Yeah. So other
Yes,
than Australia, Singapore, I can see that you are also an accredited workplace safety and health advisor or auditor
yes, yes,
and
yes,
a Be Safe trainer. Okay.
yes.
And wow, a lot of credentials that you have, risk assessment and all that stuff. And I tell you what, I'm very impressed with you, bro. You
No,
have
no,
a
no,
book,
bro. Yeah.
You have a book. That's the most impressive,
No,
which
no.
is
It
the
was
Zero Success 7-Step Effective Workplace Safety. Wow. Since 2006, that's the first
yeah.
release.
That was 10 years ago. I think no. I think no 2006. That was the
Okay.
first read. Now it's I think the seventh edition.
Okay. I
Yeah,
see. Wow. So, seven already. Okay.
seventh edition. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Is it
Every few
available
years
in
I'll be
Amazon?
no, but it's in the bookstore. It is in the
Mm-hmm.
bookstore. So we every few year because of new laws come out about safety, workplace safety, and new interpretation. So we will publish a book to explain to the public or business owner how to apply what they have learned or how to apply what is already in the market, and
Okay.
also the law. How can they comply with the law? Same time, make it practical for the business.
I see. Okay, we have a few friends here with us. I can see Ivan. Hello, Ivan. I can see Maya and Joyce. Thank you for joining us today. Tonight, actually, oh, it's a Father's Day, So, wow, you're also father, also father, right? Okay, but I think
Yeah.
we enjoy
Happy
doing
Father's
this.
Day.
Happy
Yes.
Father's Day
Yes.
to everybody. Okay,
Yes.
so I'm going to share more. Let me pull this up. Yes. Okay, so this is Roy. Okay, and um, okay, and today we are going to talk about this topic, okay, important topic on how to avoid COVID-19 infection at your workplace. Okay, so if you are a business owner, how you can ensure that your staff is safe, right? Because staff is actually the company's asset. Agree with me, right, Roy? Yeah.
Yeah.
You have staff, we have staff. We want to make sure that our staffs are all healthy and all in a safe place, safe working environment, right? Okay, and if you are a business owner, I hope that you can really benefit out of this sharing here. Okay, and let me see how. Okay, Yep, and before we continue, okay, we will like you guys to help us share on your Facebook profile for those people who can benefit on this sharing on how to avoid infection in your workplace of COVID-19, and also share to Facebook group, as many Facebook group as possible. Okay, guys, if you can help us, all right, and then if once you have done that, please comment in the Facebook in a comment over here in this post, okay, that you have shared, okay, so that we know that you have shared. All right. Okay. So now, I want to then give this time to Roy that you can share with us more. Okay. So should I put up your presentation now? Yes.
If you want, or you can
Okay.
do a
Okay.
Q&A, make it more lively because you promised me so to be informal, right?
Yeah. It's going to be informal. Okay, but
Don't want to be
maybe
too
you can
stressful on Saturday. Oh, is it Friday night? Saturday night.
Saturday
Yeah.
night. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So how about this? You share with us some introduction, about
Yes.
some
Yes.
concepts about
Yes.
workplace. Okay, so I'll put up your this presentation first. Yes.
Sure. Thank you,
Okay.
David, for the
Okay.
invitation. Yes. Yeah. Of course, I think just a while ago you shared with me that a number of your Facebook friends and audience are from different countries. So I will put
Yeah.
in the very global context, not in the Singapore context or in Australia context. I would say that first priority, of course, what we want is to be safe for ourselves. So I think in a number of countries they have the same quite similar law in terms of how to prevent infection for workplaces, even depending on the severity in their country. So I would say generally will be quite categorized into four factors. One is that you focus on your workers because end of the day, as a business owner, we are indirectly or directly responsible for our workers' safety and health. So, and also there's a certain level of liability for business owner or so key managers and appointment holder in terms of if you allow your workers to go back to workplace and there's no precaution measures, then you may be indirectly like directly responsible, depending on the law of the country. Okay, then number two, I will later will go to the B. B is actually take care of workplace, focus on your workplace. So that means you need to focus on the notice, the sign, and certain control measures in your workplace. And then number C is take care of the worker who become unwell in your workplace. It means in other, what if you suspect there's an infection or someone fall sick in your workplace? Then what should you do for C? D is to implement the system of safe management measure. In some countries, they put it in different terms. They put in risk management. In my context, I would say you should be focused on risk management. It means you're managing the risk of your place. There must be a system. Depend on your business and the complexity of the system, and also depend on the law. So these are the four things you have to remember based on my point of view. Yeah.
Actually,
So
in
I'll make it.
your
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
no, I mean in your view, there's a few countries that you serve. Which is the country that has got the most stringent safety requirement actually to you?
Okay, I would say that Australia had done pretty well because basically for the start, just because a few cases, just because initially it was not a lot of cases, and the government actually came up fast to stop all the travels and very stringent implementation. Even I would say lockdown very fast. So it depends on the different government, different economies, how they balance it. So for my case, that in Australia it was quite strict in the sense. Yeah. So based on what I know, it's quite strict. Singapore is also very strict, but because different context, because we have a number of we call it foreign workers, and also we have different kind of system. It's not so easy, and also we are very what they call it, the density is high in Singapore. So different countries have different issues. So I would say that in Singapore, not easy to implement the same as what in Australia straight away. But of course, depending on how you look at it. Yes.
Hey, if you talk about this, wow, in Singapore we have so many cases in the workers' dorm. Okay,
Yes.
what are your views with regards to this? Actually, I'm just
Okay.
curious. Yeah.
Oh, okay. My personal point of view. Okay, bear
Yeah.
with me. I'm actually looking at the thing as a personal point of view. Okay,
Yes.
not
Yes.
a
Yes. Yes.
professional point of view. Okay, personal point of view. I feel that it's very complex in Singapore case. So I would say that not as easy. If I'm one managing all this, I have to look at it in a different context. And nobody have, I would say not many people have expected this for workers dorm issues. I think initially it was quite a shock for everyone. I think after a while there are certain systems to managing it. I think along the way there's a system to take care for the workers dorm. I think it's not easy because the workers dorm have been built in this way. It's not easy to change it outright, and also involve costs, and also involves the construction projects, and also you must, as what some of the people have mentioned, that it's not just focus on the place they live. You have to also focus on the place they socialize and the place, the transportation. So you must do it together, and then these three to come together is not easy. So that's why I would say that they have a circuit breaker together with the implementation in the workers law.
Mm-hmm. So now, actually, what do you think? I don't know whether you're involved. Are you involved in the auditing of these workers dorm and workers welfare in terms of
Okay.
foreign workers? Are you involved in that?
Yeah, for my case, it's not because my sectors are not in the
I
construction.
see. I see. I see. Okay.
So most of my customers are the, we call it, could be the public sector. We come to lower risk sector, like it could be restaurant, it could be manufacturing, warehouse. So for most of the customers that engage us are not in the construction sector, but there are a few. But at the moment, we try to focus on the sector that we are good at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So which one is the best? The one that you like has got the most exposure to?
I
mean,
think for my case, it will be warehousing,
okay, warehousing. Yeah.
manufacturing,
How about
restaurants,
okay,
government
okay,
sector,
okay. How about
yeah,
sharing
and the
something
school.
about your how about sharing something because food is something that is more relatable to most of us.
Yes,
How about
yes.
you share about how should a restaurant or how a restaurant manager or worker waitresses, how do they how should we do to make sure that safety is always be in place? Maybe yeah.
Okay, in a maybe I'll just share a little bit of screen if you're okay, but we can't
Mm-hmm.
say all this within a short period of time. I can
Yep,
actually
yep.
go to the MOM website if you can actually get all the information. Not sure whether I can go down the screen. Uh, okay, okay, yeah. Yeah. Okay. The first part is to take care of your workers. I would say that if for restaurant, not easy to work from home, but some sector able to work from home. So let's say when we do audit for offices or banks, right, a lot of people can work from home. And then they need to review their resources. I think that's one of the best way to avoid infection is don't go to the workplace in the first place.
Okay.
Don't be exposed to others. So
How
if
about
you
take
can
bus?
work from
Wow,
home,
take bus will kena also, I heard.
yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Transport, public transport wise, yes. But I think based on the preliminary findings, I think is the chances of infection come the highest level where people have face to face meeting. That
Interaction.
means you are facing each other. So when you
Okay.
face each other and you communicate, especially without barrier like mask, then that's whereby the infection, because they studies have found that actually the infection is based on the vapor or the saliva vapor that actually circulate when you start talking, and you must have an angle of face to face to people. So when usually those people who sit side by side, I'm not sure if we social distancing, in my opinion, without communicating, without talking, the chances is not high, because when you start to open your mouth and start talking, then there's the higher chance of infection.
Okay,
Yes.
which means in terms of office, you'll be at the meeting room because you talk, right? And
Yes.
in terms of restaurant, definitely because you have to take out your mask, correct? And then
Yes.
you have to eat and talk at the same time. So restaurant
Yes.
is probably the highest risk in this sense, correct or not?
Especially when you take out your mask
Yeah, because
and
we
talk
have to
and
eat, right?
eat and talk. Okay, so if you can look at the infection in not just in Singapore, in other countries, quite a number of cases where in a social context. Social context means that when they have meal together, and when you, I think it's go down to our habit of cultural habit, human cultural habit of socializing, building bonding with family and friends, and eating together. So that is the issue. could be that there's infection. So when you start talking and eating together, then that's whereby you are not protected. So this is something that it takes time for people like us, including myself, to change the way we do things, which I believe that yes, we are trying to have the right habit to avoid infection, but it takes time. Yeah. Hopefully, when the COVID-19 is officially over and with the vaccine found, we can go back to the social way of doing things. Hopefully, we can change it because we are all habitual being. Once we work from home for too long, maybe we may not want to go out anymore. For my case, it's like I'm getting used to working from home. Yes.
You're
Yes.
used to
So
working from home now, ma? I mean,
yeah,
now,
in a way, yes.
okay.
Yes, because I have my own workstation in a way, and then I have my fixed place of TV, and then I have a Zoom area. So it become very, very habitual now. So
Yeah, yeah.
not easy to start going back to work. And even when I start to do audit, I feel more unsafe because I got to personally be there most of the time, some of the time. Yeah.
Okay, so I
Yes.
think so means ultimately the best is still stay at home if you are worried. Not,
Yes.
so don't even
Yes.
go to work. Okay, but
Yes.
there I think I mean as business owners or even managers, right? There's no
Mm.
choice. You still need to survive, find something to do. So I think you
Yes.
want to share with us about taking care of your workers, right? Yeah. So what are the some key things that you can, especially in terms of restaurant and food court and places like this, where yesterday we started our phase two, right?
Yes.
And I see that there are a lot of pictures in the news and Facebook that wow, a lot of people are like gathering together, many queue out there, even in Takashimaya. I think they are queuing up for the latest, don't know, LV, LV or something. Yeah,
Yes.
which is so crowded, right? And especially, I think not just that, also um, going to the toilet,
Mm.
right? Toilet is a public place and there's no measures that you block and things like that. So can you share with us some tips that or things that we can ensure really our workers are safe? Because like, for example, if I'm a restaurant owner, my workers will be
Mm.
there. There will be toilets or washroom, okay, where the public will
Mm.
use, right? How do
Mm.
we manage that part? And the workers will also go to the same place to use those
Yes.
facilities.
Yes.
Yeah, correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, actually, for my case, I feel that it's not easy. I would say because many of the restaurant owners, maybe due to time constraint, may not able to implement straight away. Uh, I would say best is still getting feedback from employees because employees under the certain risk management regulation. So the law they say that actually when you assess a risk, including COVID-19 risk, you need to get feedback from employees because employee will also know what is safe, what is not safe. Just that you must get the feedback. So as an employer or an employee representative, you need to share. So sometimes um, there's no one size fits it all kind of solution. I think many restaurants they start to have shield. You know the shield when you eat, there's a shield between person and person. Social distancing of 1 meter, and also staggering, and also we not to have too many people at one point. But I do realize that it's not easy because as mentioned, we start to get busy. You also do not want to upset your customer, so they got to have a certain way of communicating. I think best is put up signboard. When you put up signboard on what the customer should do, then you avoid the sense that a certain level of confrontation when the customer says you should have told me earlier. You know what I mean? So a clear signboard, clear demarcation is very important for businesses to start. Yeah, that is very important. So customer want to be clear about it because Singaporeans are, especially for Singapore side, we are very law abiding. So if you have good signboard say social distance, not just put social distancing as a word, but you also tell them where can they stand, where can they queue, what kind of what's the location, and where can they sit. Yeah, so these are all the factors affecting. And also as for the employee best, they I think for employee wise need to be strict about wearing masks because they are the one maybe exposed to different kind of people coming into restaurants. Yeah, but for my personal opinion, because I think the cases or infection in the community, maybe not in the dormitories and in the community are less. So I would say relatively is safer compared to a lot unknown in the initial stage. That's why I would say that the government allowed the many of the so-called this sector to open up at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. I
Yes.
mean, I think the government is doing a good job, lah. Yeah,
Yes,
just that
yes,
yeah, just as individuals, we also need to be aware. You know,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
like you mentioned about earlier, getting feedback. I think getting the staff to understand how it can be transmitted. That's one, right? So
yes.
once they understand how it can be transmitted, then they
Mm,
can go down to the ground every day when they do certain things
mm,
or certain job scope. Okay, they can
mm,
actually
mm,
identify, okay, which are the portion that needs to
mm.
be protected, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, I think that's a very good point, you know. Yeah, because like
yes,
as a manager, right, you really do not know what the people on the ground, right,
yes,
um, can face or are being exposed to, right? The risk, what are the risks that are being exposed to until you do an interview with them. Yeah.
yes,
So
yes.
this could be done in a way of interview, right? I guess I suppose.
Yes, yes. I think best is during the earlier years, earlier days, right? Best is you have so-called the Zoom meeting with them or WhatsApp meeting with them or so-called
Okay,
video conference with them
before opening or
before opening. But right
okay.
now, I think best is have a meeting since if a restaurant have started uh business, then you should have a business meeting, not to with the social distancing, of course, have a
Mm,
meeting. Tell them what do they feel, and then they discuss. Because many times, even for us, we are so-called the licensed or accredited person in terms of workplace safety. But when we get the feedback from the workers, they have a better way of finding solution because they know what is safe, what is not safe, and what is a real problem, and what is the best fitted solution. Just that there's no avenue to communicate. And
mm,
I would say, in my opinion, best is when you communicate to the staff, we have evidence of communication because that's also one of the key requirement where there's a certain audit or when there's checks. They want to make sure that the employer or employer representative have
mm.
certain communication with the staff regarding this, so they know the risk they are facing and they accept the risk. For example, so we also do not want to have a kind of a misunderstanding where I say, oh, my boss asked me to do this, and then they didn't ask me whether is it safe, whether you accept it or just ask me to do this. So I think it's best to have a communication whereby the staff say, okay, fine, this is, I think it's this control measure, including the mask or including the some kind of engineering control, which is a shield, is sufficient for me. I feel that it's safe, I will do it. So in that way, give them some choices to make, and then will be a more harmonious. Because sometimes we have some country we have cases, and then when we start to have certain kind of checks and investigation, then all those things start coming out. How come you didn't tell me in advance? So I think this one can be avoided when you have a very, very good meeting together with the staff.
I think that really makes sense. That really makes sense. Hey, but then
Yes,
I also realize that because I also walk around sometimes around my
yes,
workplace facility, right? There
yes.
are some groups where they smoke together, smoke.
Yeah,
Yeah, smoke break. Yeah. So I think
yeah.
when I look at it, it seems like there is also a risk out there, right? Because when you smoke, you take out your mask. And then
Yes,
when you smoke, you don't just smoke, you also talk. Because there will be a
yes,
group of people, they will
yes,
usually have a smoke
yes,
break together.
yes.
So in case such okay, for such cases, how okay, first of all, how do you prevent that? And do you think that as an auditor, right? Do you
Mm,
recommend okay, you have control measures, okay? My
mm,
limited knowledge, you have control
yes,
measures. Okay.
yes.
Do you actually recommend to put in to penalize certain behavior, or things like that, right? In this situation, how do you
Yes,
do that? Yeah.
yes, thanks for sharing with me. Yes,
Mm,
it is true because for for Singapore case, there's a certain requirements that the staff cannot in a way have social gathering. That means if you come for work uh and go back, you should not congregate together to have social gathering.
mm.
I would say that even the meals together is even not
Even five,
encouraged.
even five. Now the requirement is five, right? Also not
Yes,
encouraged,
fine.
right?
Yeah, no, five is usually more for like you five as a family, five, to go for
Okay.
eat. But usually for safe management measure for Singapore context, yeah, usually they don't encourage socializing as employee together.
Mm,
They should stagger work even in restaurant wise. So try not to, because once you start to stick together and smoke together, or or certain place, then there'll be certain communication. I mean, unless you are doing it 1 meter with what do you call it, social distancing or safe distancing, and you're not facing each other, then we say, but once you face each other and once you start talking with each other face to face, then that's where the risk, especially when the mask is not on. So I would say that many of the infections takes place when there's a certain activity which is not having mask, not having shield, and there's a certain level of talking. That is a key thing. Yeah. So if you can avoid that, we good. That's why if you go to work and then we have your own workstation and the other party have another workstation, with staggering work, I think it's fine. But once you start talking, then there's a risk. Also for us, as an individual habit. So for me, I usually have, even the food when I put on my dining table, I have a food cover to make sure when you start talking, sometimes the food is there for half an hour, and you start talking, the saliva will go to the food, or whatever. So if you have cross infection, yes, that's my key thing. So we also practice what we talk. So we also have our own shield at home and goggle when we go out. So when we need to, so if things near to you, so when you need to, sorry. Okay, when you need to, you apply, so you don't have to worry about, say, when you go to a certain place. I have a shoe. We also start to make, we actually started to make, design new shoe, 1,000 pieces is delivered in 1-2 weeks time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, different kind of shoe that we have. This one you can buy it from, NTUC. We also design our own shoe, and then to be used in our occasion, audit, or training center.
Okay.
Yeah, so yes, I can't see you, David. I can't see you.
Hey, no, so this one, so this one, because you also need to wear mask at the same time, right? If not, when you speak, it's still the same. You drop on the floor, right? Or anything be. I mean, when you wear a shield, you still need
Yes.
to wear a mask. If not,
Yes.
wherever you talk, when you talk, you still fall right
Yes.
on the ground. Yeah.
Yes, you're right. Under the Singapore guideline at the moment, you can't wear a shield without mask unless you are a certain reason that maybe if you're a trainer, you need to train, and then you can wear a shield. You're a teacher, you need to speak in front of the class. Yes, you can. Maybe for some reason, medical reason, you cannot wear a mask. You need to wear a shield. Yes, can. And the shield must be fully covered on not just the front but also the side. And the full length. Cannot be half length like this. Cannot be half length. Have full length. So you need to have a mask and a shield. Yeah. So shield. Sorry.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So actually, in that way, is additional protection. I would say it's good. Because like what we say, the virus can go through our nose, our mouth, and also ear. No, sorry, not ear. Sorry, eyes, because that are the openings that. So if you can protect all this, that's the best. I mean, of course, if can't, you just wear a mask will be good enough. Yeah. So that's why you can see a lot of medical staff and also enforcement officer or auditor. They are wearing masks on top of just they're wearing shield on top of the mask.
Yeah. You know what? Roy, I think through this there will be less arguments in the office. Right.
Oh, why? Less talking.
Yeah.
Less talking.
Less talking, and then less politics also. A lot of politics in the office sometimes.
Yeah. Not easy. Okay, right now, since socializing is not encouraged, but you can do that through WhatsApp. You can still do that through phone call. Yeah. But of course, it's recorded.
Everything is recorded and all. Yeah. So
gossiping is recorded.
So it's good and bad. Okay, good because nobody will. Less gossiping and less politics in the office. Not so good. It means it might be affecting the productivity, right, of the teams. Yeah.
Yes.
Because
the bonding is not as good if compared to face to face.
Yeah. Correct. So do you have something that address that, or there's none at the moment?
Okay, I feel that maybe for at the time being, we are still not comfortable with total what they call it, video conferencing style of socializing. So at the moment, face to face is still the best because you can see the person's reaction, you can feel you can
Yes.
touch. So it's very, very personal, and then you know that the other persons are not recording or whatever, So all these things are very good.
Okay, okay.
But once you start to do in a social what do you call it, the platform, social media platform, and then you start, maybe people are start to be more careful. So I think we need to change the behavior, because if you feel, if we can start to change our behavior or doing things, we can even need save what do you call it, protect the environment by having less traveling for business travel. You need to have a traveling to do socializing. You need to meet up with friends. You need to have a business meeting. I think sometimes, if need not be, we can even not travel all the way to the other city and then meet face. We can just do it through Zoom or through it to other platform, because that will also help to reduce the chance of damaging the environment. So in long term, it's good. But of course, we do it selectively. Some of them we have no choice. It's essential we will travel, but we can actually try to change the way we do things, and then it also indirectly help to protect the environment. In my opinion, doing this social media platform is good. Imagine this COVID-19 happened 10 years ago.
Yep.
How can you imagine? Maybe 10 years ago, I'm not sure whether is there a Zoom, whether is
No.
it Google Meet. There's no
Even
Google
if you
Meet.
have, it's very expensive at the time.
Yeah, I'm not sure. WhatsApp, WeChat, is it very popular at that point in time? 10 years ago, maybe yes. Yeah, I'm not sure. 20 years ago, maybe no.
No.
You imagine you had to text your friend, you had to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
call, and then you got to incur high charges calling without seeing the person. So it'd be worse off. So right now in COVID-19, it happens in such a way that technology is there to support it. It's just that people are not used to it. So
Yes.
it's I would say it's consider it's a blessing in disguise that the
Yes.
technology is there for you. So
Yes.
David, you are the one that will going to help us in terms of how to integrate in technology into helping to solve this pandemic, for this problem of COVID-19.
In fact, yeah,
Yeah,
you're right, lah. Yeah. So actually, through these 2 months, we actually receive a lot of customer inquiries and all that to help them, okay, to go digital, and do use strategy, find out strategies on how to really help help them continue to operate at the same time safe and online. Yeah. So this, I think, is going to be a norm. Okay, people are going to try not to meet as much as possible. In fact, you see now when I want to do a meeting, right, it's so much more convenient. I just need to switch on my computer, give you a link, and straight away we can meet face to face, and there's no risk. Yeah. So comparing to going down all the way to the meeting, taking risks, go up to the lift, park your car and stuff like that, and then get into the
yes,
meeting room, right? Wow, it's time, it's energy getting there, and then you do the same kind of meeting. Yeah. So I think things will change. I think behavior will change, but it takes a while. Yeah.
yes,
But
yes,
however, I mean, I'm talking about business meeting. But however, if you talk about restaurants, I think that one will be tougher. It will be really okay. Restaurants. Okay, I think you also list down here. Schools. Schools very tough because it's very tough to do online education. I feel. Okay, unless
yes.
I mean maybe you can share with me or us and the audience if there's anything that wow that we can do to have this breakthrough so that education can continue. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that for education and
Okay.
restaurants? Yeah.
Oh, when you come to, you talk about school now, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
school,
think
yeah.
school now for the younger generation, my children getting used to online, so they are able to adapt faster than me. So they're quite happy about online training. Online training, even if you talk about tuition, right? Online tuition. So it became a trend. Of course, it's unfair to generation or people like us, because we really getting not easy to get used to online education. So for younger generation, it's possible, because in fact the world, there are some of the platform are trying to change in such a way that we if this is possible, people in the poorer countries, or where cannot afford school or travel to school, they can get access to the same education as those people in the city. So in fact, in long term, if people get used to online platform, I think it's good. It's safe traveling, safe, protect the environment, and save time. Because imagine traveling to and fro. For my case, it saves me around 1.5 hours per day. 1 hour traveling to and fro work. Some people even save 2 hours a day trying to find the best parking lot. Going to the lift lobby and then go to the lift and go up to the workplace, and all this thing can be saved. But of course, we will say that best is always a balance of both. A good balance will be good. I think it's I'm trying to pass the initial stage of so-called circuit breaker or lockdown. I'm also quite affected in a way. It's a change, total change for me, especially at my age. It's not easy. But after a while, I start to write down those positive effect of working from home. So I just write down, list down what's the benefit. So one of the list is you save the environment, number one, and then you save costs because you don't have to park the car. And then thirdly is save time, because traveling time, imagine, if you go to work and coming back, it's take around 1 to 2 hours. If 2 hours, you can do a lot of stuff. For 2 hours, take a lot of stuff. And then you got to dress up, you got to do a lot of things. So actually, all these are the good factors. Same time, also you helps. Depending on how you see, it actually helps in family bonding. Why do I say that? Because my children can see what I'm doing, and then and I can see what the children are doing when it comes to education. So if you look at it in a different angle, I would say it helps in understanding each other. And in fact, my children start to know what I'm doing, and then they start to talk in my workplace language, risk assessment, because they've been looking at me and my wife, doing work, talking to customers, and doing audit, and then they understand certain terms. So I think sometimes it helps in understanding what their DMB is doing for the children itself. Yeah. In my opinion, that's the way I see it.
I think it's true. Definitely true. Yeah, but actually I also see one problem. Okay, I think family, yes, definitely. But one problem is, let's say if I have a new staff, it will be tough because the new staff has no prior, engagement with any other colleagues. Yeah, and if they come in and straight away they engage with the new colleagues through online, it may be a challenge. Yeah, when they want to integrate into the team. So this thing, I guess they will still need to have a first face-to-face or of 1-2 weeks of face-to-face meet up, right?
Yes.
To get into that environment so that they can really be more effective when they contribute to the company. I guess that's true, right? Yeah.
Yes, true. I do agree. I think because why I feel comfortable, because I know you as a friend, so it's easy. When we are online, I already know you as a friend.
Yes,
so it's just like you need to be comfortable face to face. I think, in my opinion, we have a habit of the trust factor. So when we meet someone face to face, we have the trust factor. Then after a while, we can't meet the person. Then we still be online through phone. It's still okay. But I think maybe initial stage of face to face is still essential. Hopefully, there's after a while we have a very good system, and like what you say, the new employee, is not easy for new employee to be integrated in the company without even first going to the office or meeting your colleague.
Correct. Very tough.
So and also the interview process is going to be very different.
Very different. Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
So these are things that as an employer we will have to figure out how to get this done, and at the same time have all the safety measures in place in the workplace.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
we have one
Yes.
question here from Maya. Okay, I just posted up. Okay.
Sure.
Yep. So he's asking, do we have to wear masks throughout the day in office, even with 1 meter safe distancing in place? Is there a requirement?
Yes, I think for Singapore context, yes, as long you're out of your home, so-called home, outside, they call outside mean out of your home, you should wear masks, even in the workplace, in the office, because I think the idea is that when you're home, it's your own family. The family traveling history, all this stuff. But when you're in the office, you do not know whether your colleague have certain exposure to infected person. So it's also to protect yourself. So this is one of the key thing that is not easy for a lot of the workers and also businesses, especially when do not have, it's not an air conditioned environment. It's very humid. So this is, I know it's not easy. It's not easy. Yeah, but I always say that because the rule came out in such a way, outside your home, yes, you had to wear a mask. So at the moment, because hopefully after a while, due to the lesser infection numbers and good records, we will actually change that after a while. Yeah.
Mm.
Yes.
Actually, if I think of it, if you don't wear mask, yeah, it will be risky because even if you are somebody who use a lot of computer, right? So
Mm,
computer. And one day your computer break down and then you still need to have somebody to go to your computer to help you fix it. So that's where the
mm,
risk comes in already. Because
mm.
you are the one that keep on, using that com and then that IT guy comes in, will then have to fix but still have to punch in some keys, which is a risk because there's touch on the touchpad.
Yes, yes,
Right? Touch your mouse and stuff like that. Yeah. So I think I think there's no choice. Yeah,
yes,
unless
yes.
everybody what you call that, disinfectant. Is there a rule that you need to like disinfect everything every day or things like that? Is there something like that?
They say regular, but how regular is depend on the individual and the context of whether you have visitor in the workplace. If
Okay.
your workplace have hardly have visitor and also do not need to be at your workstation. In the first place, you should be work from home. The best is work from home because you do
Okay.
not need to
Okay.
wear mask.
Mm. Mm.
But when you need to go to your office or workplace, there's a could be a certain reason you need to do some physical stuff or you need to be exposed to people and make certain interactions. So when if the other reason where you need to be do some interaction with people like a waiter serving the food or or a
Mm.
reception, then of course that you have to wear a mask because this is fact is considered risky because there's communication, face to face meeting with people. So this part is essential. But another factor is you working alone. Working alone, that means if you go to a workplace and you work alone in that context, then I would say, in that context, the risk is not high because no matter what, the risk is when you are meeting someone. It's not your work, it's about you're meeting someone. So if you're not meeting anyone at all, uh, I think it's okay. But of course, the rule says you must wear mask. So
Mm.
because
Okay.
it's for in terms of any ambiguity, because sometimes if you say some can wear, some cannot wear, sometimes
Yeah. Yep.
people will choose not to wear first. Then if
Yes.
there's something happen, then say, oh, you didn't know that actually, and also maybe for the easy interpretation of the rule, they say, okay, all workplace all must wear mask as long you go out of your home at the moment. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know it's not easy, but I think it's
Really.
for safety of everyone at the moment. Even sometimes being overly cautious, I think at this point of time it's good to
It's
be.
still worth it, right? It's still worth
Yeah,
it.
it's still
Yeah.
working for the moment. Yeah, it's a little bit of an inconvenience. It's better
Yeah.
than not going to work, because I think that right now, because partly also I think it's because of the economy, no choice. You got to wear mask, and go to work because you need the business to run. Because I hear that quite a number of business owner they have a tough time. If you don't start the business, it's not easy for them. Yes.
Yep, yep. So actually, what do you do? What's the process? I mean, if somebody need help, okay,
Mm,
to ensure workplace safety. Yesterday night when phase two started, right? Already a few officers and restaurants are being closed, asked to close by the government. Yeah. So I think a lot of business owners they do not want that to happen as well. Yeah. So what's the
yes.
process when a business engage your site to help? What's the kind of process that you uh, to engage? Yeah. Maybe you
Yeah,
can share with
for,
us.
for me, for me, I think the best is go for the so-called low cost way or no cost way. One is
Mm.
go for the training, so-called supported by government with funding.
Okay.
The training online, so no risk at all. So then the staff using this training know the methodology of how to manage the risk, and then have an avenue of doing project and communicate how to improve the workplace. Then after when they come back from the training, they submit, if you are the owner business, they submit a proposal to you and say, this is what I want to do, ABCD, write it down in black and white, and then they know what the law is. Because I would say we also find it's not worth it. Your business is doing so well, but because of some of the miscommunication or misunderstanding about interpretation of the law, and then the business had to close down. So it's not worth it. So it's better to understand the law well. They call it the COVID-19 Temporary Measures Act,
Okay.
okay, which is a law. I think non-compliance was not just fine but also jail. So I think we got to take it seriously because it's very serious, for these times like this, so to comply. So it's good to understand the law and then interpret the law and then put it apply in your business in a very proactive way and so a practical way. Yeah, this is one of it. So the resources, this is one way to go for training. Okay, get the funding from government, almost 100% by government. Then the other way is to go online to the Ministry of Manpower website, or if you are from hotel, is a business hotel owner, you go to Hotel Association website. They have all the guidelines all available. You can always download. Yeah, download all these available. These are all online, and
but
it's easy to understand. Yes.
We have listeners who are not from Singapore. So what do you have for them? I mean, yeah,
Oh,
they do not claim. So there will be some. If you can share
oh
some
yes. Okay.
step, yeah.
Yes. Okay. I do know that in some countries, they have this risk management or risk assessment in place kind of requirements where before you start doing your workplace for COVID-19, you need to assess the risk, write it down. What should you do? So if there's no clear guideline of what to do, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, we will have a meeting with the staff and then saying that yes, we have this situation, new risk COVID-19 virus infection. I think you can go to the WHO website and get all the things how they do infection. And then I believe by now all of us are very well versed with this COVID-19 kind of symptom. How can they get infected? Of course, initially there are a lot of so-called untrue news or untrue information, but after a while we are getting more familiar with this COVID-19. So it's not difficult to meet together and write it down and then come up with the countermeasures. I believe that the team and the staff also want to be safe, by working at your workplace for you as a business owner. So when they go to your workplace, they will able to come up with some ideas what to do. Yeah. And then you write it down. Best is write it down. So there's a clear communication and an action plan. So there's a certain checklist, they call risk assessment checklist. You can come up so depending on the country, what kind of risk assessment format you can have. Yeah, I think for some countries like UK, they also have a risk assessment format on their government website. You can actually do it for that. Yeah, so I would say the onus is on the restaurant owner or business owner on implementing it. I know it's not easy, but it's also good for the business because you don't want to have one case and worse is have a case and then be on the news or whatever. So I think it's best is always to minimize this from happening. At least have we call it in Singapore context and some country there in the law, they always put a two word called reasonable, practicable. It means you need to be reasonable. It means if you have briefed your staff or your colleague about this and then they still do not want to follow, then you really done your part. You have done reasonable means communicating with evidence, and then practical means whatever you have done is feasible. That shield, you don't need such a tall shield, just a shield enough for you to prevent this from happening. So this is some one of the measures. But the best measure is called elimination method, means without going to the place to meet, then that's the best because that is total zero risk. Yeah. The second most effective is engineering method with a shield. Yeah. I think the last method, least effective in my opinion is personal protective equipment, because not everybody comply with the shield, the mask, the goggle, so not everybody follow. So the best is still eliminate by not going to the workplace in the first place. Yeah, that's why working from home is going to become a norm.
What do you say again? Can you repeat the three methods?
The most effective of countermeasure elimination means you eliminate the chance of going. That means if you can cancel your meeting, change. And then second one is substitution. You change the method. Instead of meeting face-to-face, you meeting through Zoom, for example. Substitution. Instead of doing inspection or walkthrough, you can use a video conference walkthrough. So there's a lot of technology-wise to provide that. I think, David, you are in the best position how to do the same thing, but with the technology, you're actually doing virtual.
Yep.
Yeah. Then that's the second most effective substitution. The third one is called engineering method, whereby you have a shield, something physical to protect yourself from exposing to virus of the other person. So a shield, a panel or something. So this one. Then the other one is called administration method, which is something like what we say the law will apply where you need to brief the staff, you need to have a meeting, you need to talk to them, need to remind them, need to have signboard. And then the last one is personal protective equipment. So that means don't always think that by wearing mask is safe alone. Yeah, it's also all those things together, then it's safe. Yeah. So this is how I feel that if you have a chance, not just in terms of COVID-19 risk, but also in any other risk, the best is still elimination. It means without having that activity itself. But of course, we can't afford. We can't afford. Not many. We can't afford to have. But we can substitute.
Yes.
Using the same thing, we change. Just like, for example, if instead of having a seminar, for example, with you, David, for example, we now are doing live conference. We are it's quite safe, right? Nobody gets exposed to virus by having that. So it's a kind of substitution method. Yeah. Yes.
So I see also furthermore, right? There's also measuring the temperature every day, every 2 times per day, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then also has got that's for Singapore we have this contact tracing thing. You know, where to if there's any possibility that somebody is infected, we will be notified. Yeah. But I think for other countries, contact tracing is not that visible. Yeah, for other countries.
Yes.
So this is only for Singapore. Yeah, you have something to show us. Let me see.
I think maybe yes. Temperature checking is one of the requirements to check. There will be a checklist in Ministry Manpower website. You can actually go to the website and then go through the checklist and actually understand how it works. So in my opinion, my personal opinion, do not need to engage consultant to help you unless it's a very complex case. Everything is on the website. You go to the website, download. If yes, you go for training, get a grant from government to go for training. Because now at the moment the government is supporting training, including online training. The grant which include SMT payroll means that your staff go for training. You are paying a certain amount of money. The government reimburse you in terms of a certain amount of money with a cap, depending whether you meet the requirement. So all these are beneficial. So for businesses that are affected, and then if you feel that you want to save jobs and reduce costs, I think in my opinion sometimes they can choose to send their staff for training. Then when the government recognize you helping the staff to go for training, and then they actually reimburse with absentee payroll, means the person absent from work to go for training. And then the government could reimburse the person. Also can help in terms of if you think that one day the staff need to go to another sector due to your business not doing well, for example, and then you're helping the staff to go to another sector by upgrading the skill, which is I think a good thing. Yeah. Of course, depending on your situation. Yeah. Because so I always say, depending on your situation. Yes.
Yeah. So many scenarios out there.
Yeah. There's no one size fits all. Yes.
Correct. But if I hear you correctly, ultimately it's education. Means individually, first of all, we need to be very responsible on our own actions. Yeah. So we shouldn't do actions that may potentially spread virus, because even yourself you won't know whether you are infected, right? That's possible, right? Even I have no symptoms and all, it's also possible to infect. So maybe my immunity is stronger, so there's no symptoms. But somebody else, if I talk to somebody else, that person may be weaker. They end up, got infected and got serious, and all that stuff. So I think I think the most important thing, manager or business owners or even in a family, right? I think the number one thing is to educate first to everybody, and then after that is to get feedback for your on the ground people. I think if I hear you correctly, this is the summary. Of the whole safety measure, right? Education and then hear from the ground. These two very important. Then you implement all the measures that. The control measures. And if let's say those guys still don't listen, that's where the punishment will come in. Which is I don't know what you call this. Is there a term for this?
What do you call it? Stop work order. Stop work order. Okay. They can stop work. Which I think is not worth it, because you can affect everybody and also affect the jobs of your own job and your colleague's job. I think sometimes they have fines for not compliance. They are fine as well, compliance. So at the moment, I think the government is very consultative. That means they go down, they don't straight away, but they just talk to you, and then they actually encourage. So at the moment is helping. It's actually more to help you because I would say that if you look at the angle, they will rather have no infection and get some warning or fine than have infection, because once you start to have infection, that's the worst case. You know what I mean? It also affects you, affects your company, affect your reputation, and also affect your health of your loved ones. So best is no infection. So fine is actually one way to so-called give a warning, that it's very serious, so all these are factors. So I would say if you look at the safety point of view, if you value your own and your loved one lives and your health, I think it's better to look at the point of, you do it because it's the right thing to do.
Yep.
Yes, of course, we also want to avoid fines, avoid stuff, but it's the right thing to do by taking care of safety. We conscious your mind of your people around you, not just though we may be not in the vulnerable group, but there are also people in the vulnerable group. They are innocent, just because some of the people they feel that they are not, they have less chance of dying from infection. It doesn't mean that they can't infect the other one. So I think we also have to be very so-called socially responsible, especially and I would say it's quite sad to say there are also people workforce, when we go around in the shopping mall, in the workplace, they are in the hawker center, they are elderly working, cooking, and they are the one that is innocent because they are the higher chance of we call it the chance of vulnerable group, higher chance of so-called dying, when so when it comes to infection. So I would say had to be also fair to them, be socially responsible. Yes.
Okay, well, hey, I learned a lot of things, especially the
No.
control point.
I learn from you, also learn from others. Yeah, that's only my personal point of view. I mean, today I'm more on like a very relaxing kind of conversation. So as a if I had to auditor, I have to look at all the points and tell you everything. It takes a long while. So today I'm actually in a hat of a friend sharing in an informal way. So so pardon me if I too long-winded.
No. I think it's really a reminder for everyone, okay, whoever that's watching right now. And ultimately it's our own responsibility. And when we go back to work, okay, let's be safe and constantly be mindful of people around you. Okay, so before we end up, because we're running out of time already, we just want to put this up. Let me see. Okay, put this up. Okay, if you have benefited through this session, okay, please help to share or click on the link here, okay, on our Facebook group Ready Space, okay, because Roy do not have a Facebook page. If not, I'll put it in. And then put in C first so that you will get the latest notification, okay, once we have a Facebook Live. All right, and then we also have a YouTube channel over here, okay, that will give you as much value as possible as businesses. And then if you need to, you can contact Roy, okay, directly at this number 9187575753, okay, for advisors or even engage yourself, right? Roy, you do that, right? To help complex situations, okay? To implement safety measures, for your operations. And then for ourselves, of course, you guys will know Kai at readyspace.com. We care for you guys. Okay, so I hope that everyone here tonight has got some takeaways. All right, stay safe. Okay, now is for Singapore, it's phase 2. For if you are in India, I think there are cases that are rising. So please stay safe in your area. If you are in US, okay, it's also maintaining at a high level of infection. Okay, so please stay at home. Okay, if you are in Philippines, it is still spreading. If I'm not wrong, okay, today. Because there are news that I received online. If not true, please let me know. Okay. So if you are in Philippines, okay, Indonesia as well, and okay, so we have so many places. Okay, we have people from Hong Kong as well, Taiwan as well. Okay, so please everybody take care. Okay, continue to wear your mask. Okay, find some ways to clean and infect your workplace. Okay, and like what Roy have shared, eliminate. Okay, stay away from conversation as much as possible. I mean, face to face conversation, right, Roy? I learned this from you today.
Eliminate, yes, eliminate the risk. Eliminate yeah, the activity and the risk together. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so that's all for tonight. Okay, thank you so much, guys, for staying with us throughout. Okay, and we hope that you have a great Father's Day weekend celebration. But at the same time, please stay safe. Okay, thank you
Yeah.
so much. That's all. Thank you, Roy. Okay, and
Thank you,
I will,
David.
yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
for
See you guys
listening.
again. Bye
Yeah.
bye.